Hey there, Wargamers, just our Patreon today. Hey there, Wargamers, just our Patreon today. Boom! I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. Sorry for the little goof up at the front there, or at the beginning of the video. I would normally redo that and edit, but I thought that was really funny and hopefully a little bit amusing for you guys. That said, today we're going to be getting into the Battlefield Support Recon and Hunter Lances from the most recent Battletech Mercenaries Kickstarter from Catalyst Games Labs. I'm not sure when these are going to hit general public purchase, for stores and all that, storefronts. I'm not sure. Hopefully soon. But on that note, I still do want to pop this open and let you guys get a preview of what's going to be in here today. All right, guys. So as of filming this is the last, I think, vehicle box that I have to do. I think the rest of the boxes over there are mechs. And today we're going to be getting into the Battlefield Support, Battletech, Recon, and Hunter Lances. I am extremely excited about this one. These look kind of cool. These look badass. These look badass. And these look badass. I got two of this box. I think this is my favorite vehicle box. And as you guys are listening to these, they'll probably go out over several weeks, and you're going to hear me be a little bit more monotone and critical of stuff because we bought it, and I want you guys to see it. But I also feel like I'm fighting off a little bit of a cold, and I spent several hours yesterday filming, and then came back home to finish this part of it. So I've been doing a lot of talking in the last 24 hours. So this one, I feel like, though, a little bit more excitement's coming through, even though my throat's killing me. So this looks really dope. I'm really pumped about this one. The other vehicles were just, they're good, hit or miss, but like these are sick, and I can't wait to get into it. And again, these look badass, and these are just really neat. So first and foremost, checking out the box. There's no MSRP printed on here, so I don't know what they cost. I know that they were affordable to the point on the Kickstarter that I got 2 of each vehicle box except for the objectives one because I wanted lances, so I technically have 4 of each thing in here, which is really cool to me. I'm very excited about that. As always, though, we'll start out by popping this open. I'll show you the rest of the box from the inside, and then we'll get into the cards and the units. So first and foremost, as always, this isn't an insert. It would be cool if it was, but it's not. But that is the box art or rear art that you would see in the box. Very cool, but all the vehicles did have the same one. So if you saw one of these boxes, you saw all of them in terms of the internals. So, and now pop these down, and we'll pop our cards open here. As I'm opening these, as with every video that I have mentioned, I don't play a lot of classics, so these cards here are less useful for me. The rules for the Battlefield Support, I have been told and found, were in the Mercenaries box. I don't know if the rules for these are located anywhere else. If they aren't, that is a shame, and they should be. The fact that you could buy this and get these cards and not know exactly how to use them is unfortunate, and especially if the rules are behind the paywall of getting a whole box set. Like when you get these, if you want to know how to play Alpha Strike, buy the Alpha Strike rulebook and use the MUL and you're good. If you want to use these and it's not in a rulebook and you have to buy a whole box set that you might not want, maybe, then you're kind of got a weird barrier of entry. So if the rules for this are available standalone or they're in a classic book of some sort, feel free to chime in below. I don't know because I don't do classic. What I have heard from these, though, for vehicles is that in Classic, they bog the game down. They're slow. They're very hard to deal with, and there's a lot of minutia in running them, so people might not use them. These, however, are going to let you add a little flair, a little flavor of vehicles to your Classic Battletech games without slowing them down because of the way they function. This is the only thing you would need to run that tank, right? Versus having a whole pip sheet, and you can still do the pips for your mix and then use this for your tanks. So I think that is really cool and adds value. These don't have as much value for me because I don't play Classic currently, but if I got into it, I will still have them, and I think that is cool. So getting into the cards that we have here, though, we'll start off with the Warrior Helicopter, coming in at 15 points, usable in the Succession Wars all the way through the Ill Clan. It is Team M3, 18V110, the 3 life, Atmosphere, EE, and Search. Cheap little harasser, annoying little harasser. Doesn't move very fast, but at 15 points, yeah, man, it's annoying. And he's a VTOL, so he automatically gets +1 to being shot at. He's Team M3, so effectively Team M4. Cruise around, get behind people, shoot him in the rear, and if he goes down, oh no, you're down 15 points. A solid pickup, solid pickup. The H8 variant coming in at 20 points, usable in the Clan Invasion through the Ill Clan era. TMM4, 20V for movement, 120 for damage, with 2 life versus the 3 that the other one had. Atmospheric, Indirect Fire, and Search. This one's a no-brainer. For 5 points more, you get +1 TMM. He's a VTOL, so he already has another one that you add on when you get shot at, so effectively TMM 5. Cruise them around. Don't worry about getting up short or up close and personal for short range. Try and get behind people on their rear at medium to leverage your 2, and if you're on the rear, that's going to be 3. At medium range, they're trying to shoot at you, and you have Team M4, +1 for VTOL, so 5, +2 for being shot at, so 7. If they're skill 4, they need 11s to hit you at medium range. This is an annoying little harassing turd, and 100% that variant is good. That's annoying. If you get hit, he's probably going to die, but they got to hit you. And at that point, they may just opt not to shoot you, and you just keep shooting them in the rear for rolling 3 pairs of dice every turn. That's really solid. Next up, we have the H7C 20 pointer, usable in the Succession Wars through the Ill Clan. Team M3, 18V, so lower Team M, less move than the other one. A 1/2/1, 3 life, Atmosphere, EE, IF, and Search. The other one's better for the same points. No, I wouldn't even be worried about the medium range or the long range, especially if you're trying to get on the rear stuff. You're trying to leverage that medium range anyway on both of them, and then leverage your TMM. If you were going to run this one, it's because you want him to be a long-range sniper, and he's not doing a lot of damage, so you're probably going to be sitting around the medium range as much as possible, at which point this one is the way to go if you're using these cards. Next up, we have the H7F at 15 points, 4 TMM, 20 V move, usable in the Ill Clan and Dark Age era, 0 asterisk across the board for damage, 3 life, Atmosphere, FC, Search, and Tag. So this one's basically going to be kind of a spotter. You know, tag something and let your other guys go at it. Doesn't do a lot of damage, so its odds of doing damage are very low. It could do 1 damage, maybe 50% if it hits, 50% that it gets 1 point or no point. So if you're using this one, it's because you want to use them to spot and tag stuff for your indirect fire units or artillery. Next up, we have the Skulker Wheeled Scout Tank, coming in at 14 points. This one is usable in the Star League era through the Ill Clan. Team M3, 14 wheeled, 1/1/0, 3 life, EE, and Search. I love that TMM. Its movement is not great at 14. But at Team M3, that's really nice. Drive forward, harass people if they shoot it. Oh, you're down 14 points. Not a big deal. For the cost of some mechs, you could field like 3 or 4 of these and just harass your opponents, and then they have to make choices. Do I shoot this stupid little green tank here, or wheeled scout tank? Do I shoot something more important, and at which point this scout tank just keeps rolling dice at me or gets on objectives and I have to dislodge them? So I don't mind that. That's pretty nice. The other variant here, we've got the C3M. 15 points, Jihad through Ill Clan era, Team M3, 14 wheeled, no damage, 3 life, C3M, so this is a master, this is going to be one of your controllers, EE, E&E, Mech HQ5, Search and Tag. This is only going to be relevant if you're running C3, and that's complicated, and right out of the box for Alpha Strike, the only way you're going to be using this with the C3M is if you start pulling all the other boxes out and find the other units that have C3 Slave to use with him, because there may be some other ones in here we'll see. I didn't see one for the helicopter. But if you want to do this, we'll see if you can use any of these out of the box, but you'd have to go tear up the other boxes to find these cards to do it. Odds are if you're trying to run C3, you're probably just going to go to Master Unit List anyway, because you're probably a bit more of an advanced player, but these are here should you want to use them. We have the Skulker Wheeled Scout Tank SRM variant, 14 points, Succession Wars through Ill Clan, 3 TMM, 14 wheeled, 1/1/0 for damage, 3 life, EE, Search. So basically the same as the other one we did at 14 points, a nice little no-brainer of annoyance. And then we have the 21 pointer for the Wheeled Scout Skulkers, the variant C, coming in at Team M3, 18 wheeled, Dark Age and Ill Clan era, 1/1/0 for damage, 3 life, Case, ECM, Light Probe, Recon, Search, Stealth, and WAT, which I don't know what that is. The Stealth is really nice at 21 points. At medium range, you're driving around and they're having to roll at you, basically effective TMM4. That's pretty nice, but a little bit expensive. I probably would still just run the 14 pointer and be a nuisance, an annoyance. That said, this is a guy with Team M3 and Stealth and Pocket ECM, so you can drive around and try and shut stuff down. Get it in there to leverage the shutting down like C3 and things like that. So not too bad. And then finally, we have, we're going into the Antos heavy tank here. This one's coming in at 31 points, usable in the Succession Wars through the Ill Clan. Team M1, 6T, 5/5/1 for damage, 9 life, EE, IF1, Search, and Turret. Based on my baseline, he's got comparable HP, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember exactly what that Mad Dog had. But he does a nice clip more damage, albeit easier to hit. So if you're running this guy, you're probably going to want to move him into cover, use trees, and then fire from there. But not bad for 31 points. The 5 damage he still is great. Oh boy. As we flip this over, we have the chemical laser. How do you have a chemical laser? Like, I get chemical warfare, I get lasers, but do you have lasers shooting chemicals? I don't know. This just sounds funny to me. So 41 points for the chemical laser Ontos tank. That sounds like a heavy metal band, the chemical laser. Anyway, sitting here thinking dumb jokes. It's usable in the Ill Clan and Dark Age era. 771 for damage. Dear God. 11 HP. Case IF search turret. This is basically a tank version of like an Atlas or something with a little less HP than what the Atlas would have. Probably a little bit cheaper. This is absolutely terrifying for the amount of dice that's thrown out, especially if you can give it a decent skill, throw it in some trees and shoot at people. But it is a good clip of points if you're investing in that guy. Next up, we have the 3053 upgrade for the Ontos, coming in at 42 points. Clan Evasion through the Ill Clan Team M1 6T 772 for damage, 11 life, case, IF, search, and turret. So basically the same as the other guy, just got a one point more in long range damage and cost 1 point more. Yeah, same life and everything. So finally, for the last variant of the Ontos, we have the Light Gauss, 32 points, usable in the Civil War through the Ill Clan era. Team M1 6T 343 for life, 11 damage, 11 life, search, and turret. This one's a little bit cheaper than the other ones, and consistent for damage, and I think the 32 pointer or the 31 pointer would be the way to go. For 1 point less, the 32 or 31 pointer has 2 pips less life, but it picks up 1 point more of medium damage. So that's you have to determine what's good for you. Do you want the medium damage or you want the survivability? That would probably for me come down to what my points total looks like. I will usually skew a little less damage for a little bit more life, because that's more times this guy has to be shot before he's killed, and the longer he's alive, the more he gets to roll this number. So if this guy had like 20 damage and 2 pips of life, if he only lives 1 turn, but this guy lives a full 10 turns, if he rolls 4 dice every turn, that's 40 dice he's thrown versus 20 in 1 turn. So glass cannon versus consistent attrition style gameplay. I generally favor attrition, because if my guys are alive, they can keep shooting. Doesn't matter how much damage I do. If I'm dead, I'm not shooting. So next up, and last but not least from the box, we have the Behemoth Heavy Tank at 39 points. This one's usable in the Succession Wars through the Ill Clan. Team M0 4T 662 for damage, 12 life. Special AC, for specials it has AC, EE, indirect fire, LRM, SRM, and turret. So some of those are useful if you're using the special ammo. The thing I don't like about this is the TMM being 0. He's really easy to hit. And for the amount of damage he's putting out relative to the Ontos we looked at, it makes him a little less appealing, because he's so easy to hit and you absolutely need to have trees. Though that said, because he is TMM 0, the incentive to move is not there. So if you can get him in trees and park him in trees, you get your cover from that, or your tree bonus from that, which is effectively like TMM 1, but then becomes stationary, so you treat your skill as 1 better. So this is a park it, fire, and forget it, but make sure you have a vantage point. If he's out in the open, he has no TMM, his incentive to move isn't there because he doesn't get that TMM. You want to be somewhere where he can hold down and just shoot stuff. I also think mentioning hold down's a good idea. It doesn't happen often, but he has just enough movement, I think, to make 1 roll for hold down to see if he can get that bonus for being dug in. So this variant, the Karita upgrade, is 48 points. Ill Clan and Dark Age eras only. Team M0 4T 884 for damage, 12 life. BRA case search. I'd have to look that up because I don't remember what that one is. Same thing that I would say with this one, except the other one is 9 points more. It does do more damage, but you absolutely need to have a place on the battlefield you can put him, or he is going to get absolutely wrecked. They will try and remove him immediately. 8 damage isn't good if you can't roll it every turn, so you need to find a vantage point to put him in and try and keep him alive. We have the Behemoth Heavy Tank Karita variant, but not the upgrade version. 44 points, so coming in 4 points cheaper than the previous one. Usable in the Succession Wars, or excuse me, Civil Wars era through Ill Clan. 0 Team M4 tank, or 4 tracked. 774 for damage, so a little bit less damage than the other guy. 12 life. IF search turret. Same concept as the other guy. If you're going to play him, you need to have a place where you know you can park him, and so you can shoot. Otherwise, he's just going to get blown up. No Team M is rough. He's effectively like a tracked version of an Annihilator. Annihilator, I think, also is 4 move and 0 Team M. So now we have the Davian Behemoth Heavy Tank at 45 points. Ill Clan and Dark Age are only. Team M0 4T 784, 12 life, case, and search. So yeah, I mean it's comparable to these guys. That's a 774. This is a 784. So from 1 point more, he just gets 1 point more at medium range damage. So these guys, no matter what you do with the Behemoth, what variant, probably want to be looking for areas of cover for tree cover to make sure that they can survive and continue to shoot. That said, let's go ahead and take a look at the minis. So starting off with the Behemoth here, and that is a big old boy. Like the treads. Those look reasonably fine. Okay. I feel like some of these bigger guys, the details are more defined, which makes sense because they're larger models. This has been a consistent issue on some of these because they chose to have the injection point here. This one's at least a little bit better to clean than the last video I did because the last video was covering these panels here. So for you to fix it, you would have to resculpt the panel, which no one would do. This one at least is above it, so you can probably shave that and maybe fill it and not lose detail there, which would be nice. Maybe it'll drop your antennas on there. So yeah, all in all, not too bad. That looks really, really good. I like it. I like these big chunky boys. Also, it's so big, I probably wouldn't even worry about basing it. I'd probably just paint this up, not worry about dirt and debris because it covers the whole dang base. So I like that. And let's check this one for consistency, see how he looks. Yeah. Oh, his little cleanup point here looks a little bit better than the other one. Yeah, probably fill that with a little bit of super glue. I've noticed some of these mount points for them are some are good and some are bad. So that's been a thing as well. Also, this looks like an antenna would go here, but he has turrets, so he'd totally be just hitting that to antenna. But he does have it. I guess with his real life, if he had to turn it around, he would just bap into the antenna anyway. So not the end of the world. All right, so next up we have the Ontos to take a peek at here, and really like these big tanks. I like the quad barrels here. The front looks a little rough. He almost looks like he's a smiling jack-o'-lantern face there. You guys see that? He's just like, hello, look at me. Yeah, that should take a wash pretty well. I like the tread details, even though you're not going to see that as much unless you flip it over, but I do like those. I like that grading. Pretty nice. The areas where you would mount your antennas, though, are a little small. You can get in there and do some stuff, but for the gauge of wire that I use, when you drill in, like I'll probably have to shave that to get that to fit. It is what it is. Let's check the other tank here for consistency. And appears to be, at first glance, basically the same. So panel lines look deep. I think you're going to be able to get in there with primer, paint, wash, dry brush, and that'll get you a pretty good clip towards these guys being ready for the table. So, and then next up we have the Skulker Wheeled Scout Tank. Let's check the details out on this little fella. Oh, he skipped leg day, so to speak. Little dish on there. Yeah, not too much to say on that one other than just like it's a kind of cute little tank truck thing, which I think is pretty neat. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a cool little thing. I don't know much about this one. I just visually knew that it was kind of cool looking to me. It's neat. Neat little thing. Yeah, it looks consistent. This one looks somehow a little bit better than the other one. Yeah, maybe there's a little grease or something that was on there, but it looked like this was a little bit more sharp, but at second glance it looks basically the same. So, yeah. Yeah, there's a few areas on this that could be a little bit better. Some areas in here that are kind of crooked, but like it's so tiny, Not to make excuses for them because I'm critical of all these things, but that still seems fine to me. And last but not least, we have the Warrior VTOLs, and they have, they should pop off here pretty easily, and they have an extension peg so that you can mount them, and they are flying. Oh, does the whole peg come out? I bet the whole peg comes out, doesn't it? Yeah, I had to use my teeth to get that out. So that peg comes out. You can put the wide side in. I'm not going to push that all the way because I'm going to have to pull it back out anyway. And then this side goes into the VTOL. So I'm not going to force that in because I don't want to potentially break it. I know doing some of the old GW pegs, they could break these look thick enough that you're probably not going to have that as an issue, I bet. Probably also want to keep track so you don't lose your little peg though, because that would be a little bit annoying. I like that those pegs are clear though. It's nice. So checking out the VTOL, the thing that I most like about this is these, you could probably bend these and cause irreparable damage, there we go, to them, but they're probably a lot more durable than 3D prints. That's why the stuff we make at work, we don't really do a lot of rotors because they're so fragile and easy to break. So this is one area where CGL's got some things they can make that other companies can't do as easily. Could you 3D print stuff like this? Yes, but these are going to be very fragile. And with this material, you can drop them and knock this over like, you know, whatever. And if you knock this, the resin ones over, I wouldn't even done that jokingly with one of our resin ones for work because it might have broke. It's just the nature of resin being that thin. So these are really nice on that regard. It's nice that we're getting some VTOLs, and also these aren't metal. The metal VTOLs are finicky and a pain in the butt to deal with, so I like that. Got nice canopies to get in there and paint, which is cool. And it's all in all, it's really, really neat. I hope we get more VTOLs, more helicopters, things like that. Very cool. This is probably my favorite thing, or it is probably my favorite thing from the vehicle boxes, and it's fitting that this is the last one that I opened because I really wanted the VTOLs. It was very important that I got those because I've got some metal ones that I have not finished. I got so many unfinished projects for Battletech at this point, but I really wanted some plastic ones that are easy to work with. Also, not a lot on that I can complain about. I know I was giving it some high praise for what it is, but I didn't see anything obvious that I would want to complain about. You know, other than the obvious mold lines and stuff, but I'm still pretty happy about it and really excited that we even got these to begin with, to be honest with you. So. And there you have it, folks. Hopefully you found this useful and you got a first look at this box. I'm a huge fan of it for at least one major reason, and that is the VTOLs here, the helicopters. That's something here at DRD is really hard for us to do, and it's also not very easy to replicate in the 3D print world. You can make VTOLs, but the problem is those rotors get pretty thin and fragile because the way with the nature of resin, it's kind of brittle. So this is one thing in here that is, I think, a really good pickup for anybody. The tanks and stuff are obviously good too, but the VTOLs are chef's kiss because you get that durability of that plastic. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you sound off in the comments below, hit that like and subscribe button as always. If you're waiting on your Kickstarter pledge and you're just frustrated, I get it, but hopefully you will have it soon. And if you've already got yours, that's awesome as well. In both cases, for both sides of that fence, please sound off in the comments below. If you like this, didn't like this, had any thoughts, critiques, concerns, anything at all, I'd love to get that conversation going down below. On that note, folks, I've got nothing left for you today. As always, if you want to help support the channel, check the description down below. All the relevant links to help keep the channel going can be found there, and I appreciate all your support. That said, I'm going to head off. As always, keep painting your models, keep rolling your dice, and I will catch you guys next time. If you made it this far, you're probably a viewer that already hits that like button when you see a video come up. You're probably already a subscriber, and you probably jump into the comments down below to help support the channel, to help support that algorithm. But if you're looking for some other ways to help support the channel too, make sure you check the description down below. Maybe you want to pick up some paints from Monument Hobbies. That's my paint of choice. The Pro Acrylic line is chef's kiss, good stuff. Maybe you want to check out some of the offerings from Death Designs, where I work in my day job. We got plenty of 3D printed products, as well as MDF terrain, some of the stuff that I have designed myself and we play with here on the channel. And if you're looking to bolster your Battletech ranks, miniatures, and offerings, make sure you check out Bobby from Fortress Miniatures and Games. He's one of the main supporters of the channel as well, and supporting any of these companies helps support what I do and helps to ensure that I can continue to bring content to all of you. If you want to become a super supporter, I highly recommend you guys check out the Patreon. You guys give that extra little edge to help push more content out, and I really do appreciate that. And my ultimate goal on the channel is to continue to be able to not only put out the content we have now, but to get to a point where you can put out more content later, whether that be battle reports or painting tutorials or just more rambles, anything at all. I'd like to be doing more content for you. This is something that I enjoy. I like being able to cast a light into the darkness to bring a little bit of hobby positivity to all of you and make you feel good, and also enjoy playing games myself. As we do the final sign off here though, I do want to go ahead and switch on over and do the scroll of awesome to showcase all the Patreon supporters, the super supporters of the channel, to give them some recognition for helping support what I do. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you guys next time.